guys, welcome back to Small Trees. I'm going to try to do a live audio portion here, and hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. It's pretty windy today, so I'm shooting this inside of a greenhouse, and right now I'm worried it might blow away around me, but hopefully not. So what I've got today, this is the Ebihara maple from last year's video. You can see it's growing pretty well. I've shared a couple of pictures of it, but not released the video on it yet. What I'm going to do today, I've been looking at it, and I thought I was going to chop this tree, you know, pretty low. It's not quite, the turntable's not quite big enough, but anyway, I thought I was going to chop it pretty low and build a really low trunk section. However, I'm leaning in so I can see. We've got a nice curvature somewhere right in here. If I can see this. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Focus here. So what I was thinking, you can't quite see it here, we've got a little bit of fluting in the trunk on each side here, as well as, I'm gonna have to go this way, as well as here. And so what I was thinking is, if we zoom out and get an image of the tree a little further out, we can make a chop. I'm gonna come on the same side as you guys, somewhere around here, but if we come from this side, we do have the movement this way. So something like in here, use maybe this as a new leader, and then clean up this chop mark here, which has a lot of little branches growing around it. That's going to create a lot of reverse taper in a hurry. As you can see, when a bunch of branches come out from the same spot, you end up with these knobby little areas that, you know, the swelling that makes the tree go from being wider at the base and thinner at the top to having areas where that cone shape reverses a little bit. So we're going to clean that up. We're going to get a nice big cut off here, and we'll probably pick one of these branches and keep it kind of close and have it there in the future as a first branch. So I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to clean up this chop wound here. And we're going to try to make this a little bit of a continuous cut here so that it looks better and it'll flow a little bit better. So I'm going to back up and grab a couple things. Let's see here. Coffee first and foremost. Now, I'm going to take this off of this really quick so that we don't get a lot of movement. And I know what several of you are thinking. Yes, I probably should have done this when it was in the ground, but at the time I thought I was just going to cut it low and just go with it. So I've had time to look at it now a lot more, and I think that this is the angle, the approach that I want to take. So what I need to do here is figure out the appropriate angle for this cut, which from this angle, were this to be, can you, I don't know if you can see that, let me zoom. Okay. this would be what I would want the next leader to be. This is a little too close. This leaves too much of a straight space. This doesn't do me any good. It's coming from the underside. So that is going to be what I'm going to use for my new leader. So again, the question becomes, what angle do we cut here? I do just want to make one cut since I have a leader that I know I'm going to use. What angle do I make this cut so that I don't have to approach it again in the future? In this case, normally we'd say roughly 45 degrees, right? But because this branch section is roughly 45 degrees, we can do pretty much a straight up and down cut. We'll angle it slightly so that this is the high point, and we'll seal that, and then we'll move on to cutting this out. I'm going to attempt it with hand tools. I do have a couple of different grinders I can use if I need to, but we will see if we can get by without using those. Alrighty. If you wanted to here, you could take a pen and make a mark for the angle that you wanted to take here. I believe what I'm just going to do is I'm going to want to keep this. Probably not. I've got several options. Is just go slow here. And again, I want this to be the highest point. I don't really want the entire top of this to be the highest point, so I need to cut it straight up and down, but I guess angle it slightly inward. Anyway, we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to start, I like to start next to, if I have a leader, start next to it at least for a few strokes, just to make sure that, number one, this is the important part and we don't want to mess it up, and number two, I want to make sure that my cut doesn't end up off line, because then you've messed up. I'm going to take this slow because I don't want to scrape the bark off of what is going to be our new leader. And that noise is going to annoy me. Let's get rid of this. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to look, see if that looks like it would be the angle that I want, so that this is the highest point, and it does. It looks good to me, so I'm going to keep going. And once I get it established, I'll cut it a little more quickly. Some of you guys may be thinking, well, you could air layer this and make a nice new tree, and you could, but that takes away at least a season really from advancing this tree, because you're going to be trying to get roots to throw up here. You're not going to be able to do a whole lot about what's lower. So when you have a better tree, I usually just get rid of the upper part, even though you could air layer it. catching on something here. Let's see what it is. I don't know. It's just being difficult, I suppose. Alright, back to it. How much time do we have here? Okay, we're only at 11 minutes. That's good. This camera will only record 30-minute segments at a time. So I kind of have to be aware of how long I recorded, or else it'll stop and I'll lose what I've got. So. I'm not sure if this tree's just got a little bit more dense wood, or if my saw blade is starting to dull. Probably a little bit of both. We're gonna take our time because we want to make the chop look just right. I don't want to have to clean it up a whole lot, so I'm trying to make it as clean and straight as I can the first time. Now that I'm getting close to the bottom, I do not want the bark here to peel down and strip off lower bark whenever it starts to when it gets close to cutting. So I'm gonna go ahead and notch the bark slightly, just a little bit. And this should keep that from happening, hopefully. And this doesn't have to be exact, but I do want it to connect. And I am gonna, it's gonna be a little awkward. I'm gonna try to hold the top here while I cut the remainder, to try to hold it in place as much as I can. Alright, so there we have a nice, what could be a nice little tree here, but it'll just go in the ground as trash, because you know what, I'll try to root it. It's not gonna root, but I'll try, give it a shot. So now we made the cut. So what's next?